Well, good morning, and today is Tuesday, March 1st, 2022, and greetings from uh, Willis, Texas, here at the Thousand Trails Lake Conroe RV Resort and Park and Campground. And it's a beautiful day here. It's about 42 out. It's a little bit after 7 on Tuesday morning, and it's going to be another full day of teleworking, but out walking the dog before we get our day started, and it's just a beautiful day. We're here at the Thousand Trails RV and Resort at Lake Conroe here in Texas, north of Houston, and very nice facility here. They've got a nice kids play area there, and then there's a miniature golf course here. And then they've got tennis courts over there. And then they have basketball courts there. And on the far side of the basketball courts, there is a dog park. All the facilities look virtually brand new. So obviously they spent a lot of money on recently reconditioning everything. And they also have horseshoe pits there. All in all, boy, it sure is nice here. Really do enjoy coming to the Thousand Trails Parks. I'm definitely sold on their program, and I'm going to be expanding my membership here shortly. So, but yeah, just loving the life here at Thousand Trails. I know it sounds like an advertisement, but I really am sold on this. The other thing is it's very peaceful and quiet here. I found that on all the Thousand Trails parks that I've stayed at, whether in California or in Texas. Very quiet, peaceful, just really enjoyable. Well, we're making our way up our road here to the Allegro. And as you can see, it's a beautiful day out. It's like California weather. I'm gonna get the chair out, and Remi and I are gonna sit outside in the sun for a while. Here's our base camp here in Willis, Texas at the Thousand Trails. Well, I am teleworking outside, believe it or not. It is like 72 here in Willis, Texas, and Remi and I are sitting outside enjoying the sunshine. We've been in freezing rain and that sort of stuff cooped up for a while, so it's nice to be outside. And just like the other Thousand Trails parks that I've stayed at, this one, the pool area is nicely maintained. Looks great. There's also a hot tub. You just can't see it from this position. Well, here we are out at Lake Conroe. And this is on the kind of the south end of the RV park. These are cabins that people own that are right off the lake. And then the RV park is up over there. That's the Thousand Trails facility. It's all Thousand Trails, but the RV portion of the Thousand Trails Park is here. And as you can see, they've got a fair amount of open land where they're selling additional lots for establishing these cabins. It's very pretty and peaceful out here. Very enjoyable. And as you notice, they also have a beach volleyball court. So that's cool. Well, I'm down here at the boat slips at the Thousand Trails at Lake Conroe. And having a little sunset going on out there beyond the trees. Every evening it's been a very pretty sunset here. Well, you know, every once in a while you got to do repairs around the house, and being in a motorhome's no different. Remi got a little overzealous with the screen door one day, so I'm replacing the screen on it. Fortunately, I had some on board, and so I took the screen door off, putting new screen on and resplining it, and then we'll put it back in the door here in a few minutes. So, you know, just another day living full time in an RV. Well, good morning. Today is Saturday, and we are headed. It's the 5th of February, 5th of March, sorry, 2022, and we are headed out to check out Sam Houston National Forest. As you can see, we're just leaving the RV park, and it's kind of foresty through here, actually, in Texas, which is a little bit surprising for me. I didn't envision that there'd be areas like this in Texas, but it's very pretty. Well, we're here entering the Sam Houston National Forest, and we're on our way to a hiking trail out here today. So we'll check it out here and see what there is to see. Well, Remi and I are out here at Sam Houston National Forest, and we're going to go take a hike down the Lone Star hiking trail this morning. So come along and take a look. Okay, come on, Remi. And Remi leads the way. Lone Star hiking trail. So yeah, we're out here on the Lone Star hiking trail. And a lot of trees out here. Not what I expected out here in Texas, but it's very pretty, very enjoyable. So Remi and I are continuing on our little hike here, and you know, it's not my first hike in a Texas forest, but my first hike in a forest in a national forest in Texas. And I see that little silver reflector there, and I don't know if that's a national forest thing or a Texas forest thing, and I just had never noticed it before. So, at any rate, seen a bunch of these trail markers along the way, and maybe it's just something they do here in this national forest. I don't know, but we're continuing to make our way in. We're probably about a half mile into the trail here. Well, we reached a point on the trail where there's like 3 different offshoots from the main trail that I was on. And since this trail was not panning out the way I had envisioned, I thought it was just a single loop trail around a lake. But that didn't seem to be the case. If it's a lake, then I'm walking through a lake bed, and it's definitely not got any water in it. So, erring on the side of caution, and the fact that we have a mile and a half in, we'll take the mile and a half back out, and we'll call it a trail, call it a hike, since I don't really have anybody in the Texas area here that's going to mount a searching party for me. So I do have a friend that knows that I'm out here, but you know, just to err on the side of caution, it was still very cool to come out and see this. And we'll do some driving around now to see what we can see. But as you see, I got my faithful trail dog here. She's leading the way back out to the car in the parking lot. And it dawned on me, I'm not sure that I locked the car. The trailhead's quite a ways out, so I doubt that anything will happen to it, but still kind of pissed off at myself that I didn't lock it. So yeah, we'll check in with you in a bit. Well, Remi and I definitely got an earlier start than a lot of folks out here. We're heading out, and we've passed 3 different sets of hikers going in, so I guess we got the early start today. And the sun's trying to break through the overcast. You get a moment of blue sky and then sunshine, but then it goes gray and cloudy like you see there. So, but yeah, this has been a good walk, and we're now going to run over to the RV store after we get back to the Jeep, and then we will move on down to a community called Kemah, which is out by the bay of Houston, and then we'll set up camp there for a couple of nights. So here we are in Kemah, Texas, south of Houston, between Houston and Galveston. And this is the RV park that we're base camped at for a couple of nights. And it's a great location, recommended to me by a friend of mine. And yeah, it's even got a mobile vet here, so that's cool. Well, hi there. Remi and I are now in Kemah, Texas, and we're now headed to Galveston Island to check that out, so stay tuned. So Houston is like the 4th largest city in the nation, and I'm in Kemah, which is a suburb south of Houston. But the traffic on a Saturday in Houston was far worse than I've ever seen in LA. But you can see that there's a lot of prep work here going on for road construction, and back behind me a ways there was a lot of raised or elevated freeway that they were putting in. They were putting in the vertical uprights and stuff. So yeah, it's a growing area down here, and I don't doubt that people are moving to Texas as much as they're building out infrastructure. But I somehow don't think the people of Texas are really liking it. But you know, the world is constantly changing. So stay tuned as we make our way to Galveston here. Well, we have a bridge that we need to go over in order to get to Galveston, and it looks like a resort town from what I can see here so far, so we'll find out in a few minutes. If you look at the buildings on the right, they almost look like casinos. I don't know if they have gambling in Galveston, but I suppose anything's possible. So we're in Galveston, and off to your left we have the Gulf of Mexico. So, but right now we are actually headed towards Galveston State Park. So we'll see what that's all about here in a few minutes. So here's something different. You're able to park right up against the surf. So that's kind of cool. Don't know that I'd want to for very long, but you can do it. So the whole personal responsibility thing, I guess if you're willing to roll the dice, then there you go. So, but we're gonna check out the beach here at Galveston. I should note that the road to the state park was closed, not because they're closed as in closed for the day, but as in they're rehabbing the road. So regardless of the time of day I came out here today, I wasn't going to get out to the state park. But the state beach is good. And you know, folks are out here fishing and stuff. Obviously there's been some sandcastle building out here. So, you know, typical stuff. But it's cool to be here, to be able to check out the beach. and the ocean on the Gulf of Mexico. It's odd to be on a beach where the sun isn't either rising or setting directly off the beach. It's actually, the sun is setting out towards the west. As I alluded to earlier, somebody was building sandcastles out here, and obviously somebody's got mad skills on the sandcastle building. I'm not going to let Remi disturb it, but very cool, huh? So the houses here are all on stilts, so as to protect them from the storm surge when hurricanes come on shore. And I think it's code because they don't have any houses that aren't on stilts down here on the south end of Galveston. There's a closer look of the houses, and you can see like the one there on the left has got storm shutters up. So here we are at the Tipsy Turtle Bar and Grill, Seaside Bar and Grill. And they allow dogs, so I got my first mate Remi here with me. She's been such a trooper today as we have done all sorts of adventures. And tomorrow we go to the Space Center Houston. So yeah, it's gonna be a full but good weekend. Greetings from Kemah, Texas, and here at the RV park, it's a very nice little inlet to Galveston Bay, and just great RV park here. Got a pool, got a nice little walkway along the inlet there, and very well manicured and maintained facility here. The spots are a little narrow, but they're plenty long, and very nice place to stay. So enjoying my stay here. This is actually a suggestion from my friend Chris Thompson, and I'm so glad she suggested it. So even at the RV park they have a dog wash, which that's very cool. And then they've got a section that I guess is for 21 and older adults, so or 21 and older residents. But they have 3 pools here, which is really neat. It's not often that you see an RV park that's got 3 pools. There's one by the office, there's one that we saw a minute ago by the inlet into the bay, and then there's this one in the 21 and older section. I think all these tiki table sort of things where you can sit outside and just enjoy the bay, I think those are very, very cool as well. So here we are at Space Center Houston. Quite the experience. Oh, there's...
Was that a real festival? In
Yes.
San Bernardino?
Yes.
That's awesome. Did it work straight cats?
We set sail on this new sea because there is new knowledge to be gained and new rights to be won, and they must be won and used for the progress of all people. But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win.
This is the NASA mock-up building where they have every module that is up at the International Space Station also replicated in this room, allowing engineers to give feedback to astronauts on how to address problems that they may run into with a particular piece of equipment in orbit. Every piece of equipment that's in space currently is represented in this room, as well as a laboratory for building new pieces of equipment that will go into space eventually.
Alrighty guys, so this concludes the Building 9 portion of this tour. Feel free to take any last minute pictures that you want. If you have any...
As we continued our drive from building to building during the tour, we went past the Chris Kraft Control Center. Christopher Kraft was one of the instrumental engineers and administrators in NASA back in the 1960s.
Probably refurbished.
November 9th, 1967. 7 years from the date that North American Aviation received the contract, and 40 weeks after the disaster, we make the first full unmanned test of Saturn V, the three-stage Goliath that is eventually to pitch the Apollo spacecraft to the moon.
GNC, how are you? It's good flight. ECOM, good flight. Booster good? Go at this time. Go all the way, booster.
As the sound waves reach the press site, 3.1 miles from the pad,
A building shape. Oh, it's terrific. The building's shaking. This big glass window is shaking. We're holding it with our hands. Look at that rocket go.
that was Walter Cronkite, usually a calm observer of world crises, as the commotion of Saturn V's blastoff threatens to shake apart the booth where Cronkite is reporting the launch for CBS.